Times you stumble down and fall upon the ground. It's the number of times you pick yourself up and keep on moving on to meet your goals. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. I tell you, come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is our success thought number 16. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that you enjoy these thoughts, these little ideas to help prepare you for the day so that you can do better, so that you can be better, so that you can have more, so that you can be the person you truly want to be, doing the things you want to do, having the things you want to have. Our success thoughts are based on our book, of course, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And it's available, I tell you, it's available on all platforms from Amazon, Key Bookstore, Black Book Club, Walmart, you name it. And this is your recipe book for success. If you need to make a change to make this year your year for incredible success and to tear up this second half of the year, this is the book for you. Thank you, darling. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to continue our discussion on the stages of life. Yesterday, we talked about the first stage of life, and you know that idea that the first stage of life is the stage of education, where you learn the basic principles of life. The second stage of life, though, is really a defining moment. The second stage of life really ranges, chronologically from about age 20 or 25 to age 40 to 50. And this is an interesting stage because this is the stage of life where you begin to experiment and find things out for yourself. It is in this stage of life that you experience love, that you really experience the living process. You experience joy, you experience drugs, you experience things that titillate your senses, things that make you feel good, things that make you look good, things that touch that part inside of us that's half animal, half instinctual, half person. In other words, we really get, I guess, enticed to things that feel good, that taste good, that give our feelings a special sensation. We strike at our own. We begin to experience adult reality. We learn about love, sex, drugs, alcohol, competition. We learn about insecurity, success, failure, frustration. We literally learn the gamut of sensations. And these are the sensations that make life exciting. The first time you fall in love, it's like, man, talk about clarity. Woo! The first time you have outrageous success when everybody's calling your name and the crowds are cheering. Woo! So this age of sensation is critical because it's almost addictive. Anything that really, you might say, inspires or motivates that feeling aspect of your life can become addictive. But as you begin to indulge the second stage of life, it's very easy to get hooked on a feeling, hooked on a sensation, hooked on a drug, hooked on a person, hooked on any addiction. And this addiction can be used to cope, to escape, to perpetuate. When people get high, drug addicts can't, they live for the next high. We have love addicts. We have people who are so hungry for relationships that they live for the next relationship. painful, happy, whatever. They are hungry for it. And so it is in this stage, the second stage of life, that our habits begin to develop. That the habits that will carry us through life begin to either make us or break us. The second stage of life can really captivate you so that you indulge your senses. Here, in the second stage of life, the requirement is to develop self-discipline. You learn to control your thoughts. You learn that you must control your thoughts. You learn that you must control your emotions. You learn that you must control your habits. You learn that you must control your relationships. And so in this second stage of life, I think many of us coming out of that education state are sort of driven by our ego that we know. But when we get into that stage of sensation and start experiencing that, not only the joys, but the pains of the we know, of the ego, we really can indulge ourselves. In the second stage of life, we're out on our own and we learn the challenge of what it takes to keep a roof over your head, what it takes to survive, what it takes to have a family, to provide for your family. You learn the win or lose attitude of life. You win, great. You lose, you got a profound lesson. And losses can take you out. You can make decisions that can literally take you out, that can impact the rest of your life. So this age of sensation this second stage is critical. Some people get stuck on a treadmill, the treadmill of day-to-day survival, more month at the end of the money. So the entire life is spent just trying to find enough of what you need, enough food, enough resources to keep a roof over your head, a job steady enough to provide just enough to keep you from quitting. This treadmill can last from the cradle to the grave. The lesson of the second stage of life is you must take control of your life. You must develop the art of self-discipline. You must develop the art of visioning so that you can see the person you want to be. What you learn in the second stage is that you don't have a goal, if you don't have a vision of where you want to be in life, of what you would like your life to be, that there's a world mind, there's a sensational mind out there that will suck you in, as it said in The Godfather, it pulls you back in. So mastering the skill of sensation means that you have to master the skill of survival, the financial skills. If you do not master money, money will master you. If you do not master resources to keep you going, you and your family, those resources will beat you. Those lack of resources will beat you down. You must develop the discipline to manage your emotions. You must choose to be happy. You must choose to be healthy. You must choose to be safe. In the second stage of life, it's all about discipline. What do you have to do to take control of your thoughts so that your thoughts serve you and not master you? What must you do to take control of your emotions so that people can't keep sliding, as they say, slide into your life and wreak havoc? What must you do? What must you learn to do to control your habits so that you have habits that are consistent with and congruent with the things that you desire? Most of all, what must you do to control your relationships so that the relationships serve you, don't pull you down, don't drag you down? A friend of mine was saying how her life could have been so different if she had not let relationships pull her down. She's saying, I'll never marry again because every time I got married, I married into somebody else's dream. Somebody else had expectations for me. And those of you who are joining this morning, that's a question I'd like for you to ask yourself. Whose dream are you living in? Whose expectations are driving your life? Whose visions are shaping your future? This second stage of life is powerful because so many people get trapped. Men have a tendency to get stuck on feelings of generated by sex, alcohol, power, physical conquest. Many men live their lives going from person to person, learning to dominate, to pain, to cause pain, to be in charge. That's an addiction. I was watching a movie last night. I think it's called the Mule. I think with about the old man who became a drug mule, and he'd been so into this profession that when he got word that his wife was sick, he said, "I can't make it. I have a schedule to keep." And then he realized that being a slave to his business, being a slave to making money, being a slave put him in a situation where he had ignored his family. He said his daughter hated him. And he had to take a point when his wife was very sick. He had to stop everything he was doing and go there and spend the time with her until she made it. Clint Eastwood. Thank you. Yes, darling. That's the one. Yeah. Where he had to really go back and focus on what was really important in life. And so when we get through the second stage of life, we have to really focus on what's important. Women have a tendency to get stuck on the need for love, on the search for love, a search for attention. I think women everybody has a desire to be loved, but women so often can be trapped by other people's power fields and get sucked into relationships. And because, women are always in charge of the children, so there's a whole different attitude to life. With a man, sex may mean a moment. With a woman, sex can mean a lifetime. And so there's a whole different dynamic going in there. That's a whole time for another stage, another piece. But the challenges of this second stage of life is really about self-discipline, about the choices that you make, the choices in your thinking, the choices in your emotions, the choices in your habits, the choices in your relationships. It is in this second stage of life that you master your physical, emotional, habitual, and relational appetites so that you are truly the captain of your ship and the master of your destiny. The second stage of life is a lot like, I guess, in The Godfather, like the mafia. It will keep pulling you back in. As long as you're a slave to sensation, experience, it can pull you back in. But you can choose to change and be the person you want to be. Do the things you want to do. Have the things you want to have. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. Wow. Whew, folks. The second stage of life, I guess I have to confess myself that I've been stuck in it sometimes. The second stage of life really requires a certain amount of internal reflection to see what have been the things that have held you back. What have been the thoughts you permitted, the thoughts of lack and limitation that you permit to come into your life? What have been some of the emotions that you have permitted to rule you? What have been some of the habits that you have permitted to consume you? What are some of the things that have kept you trapped in relationships and living somebody else's dream? Well, you can be free, folks. Just come on. The time to love is here. The time to love you. The time to love yourself is here. And so it is. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This has been our success thought number 16, the second stage of life. Please share this with others. Share this and let other people, at least 3 people, share this broadcast with them. Because this second stage of life can take you where you want to be, take you doing the things you want to do, and having the things you want to have. Thank you so much. K, self-reflection followed by positive action. Beautiful. Self-reflection by positive action. Or to another day. Take your life into your hands. Make it work out your way. It's not the number of times you stumble down and fall upon the ground. It's the number of times you pick yourself up and keep on moving on to meet your goals. See you tomorrow. Same time, same station. Dr. Herbert Harris saying you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have whatever you want to have if you believe in you. And remember that the time to love is here. See you tomorrow morning. Same time, same station.